Okay, hello everyone. I'm Angeline and I'm a staff with YWAM Singapore. So, this is a picture of our community there at our Lorong 9 building, which is not too far from here. And yeah, YWAM is a global missions movement, for those of you who don't know, in over 180 nations. And in YWAM Singapore, we are about 65 staff from 19 nations. And today I'm here to share how God led me into full-time missions, which actually started from when I was a child. So I grew up in a Christian family, and growing up, I was surrounded in lots of different communities, people who believed in God in church, in school, and even in Arise. And God used all of these communities to build my walk with Him. But when I was 8, I actually faced really bad bullying in school. But it was also at that time when God encountered me very deeply. He became very real to me at a young age. And it was a tangible experience of the perfect love of God. And that's where my personal relationship with Jesus started to grow. And from then on, His presence became very precious to me. His word came alive to me, and my intimacy with Him deepened. And through my childhood and teenage years, there were different points where God marked my heart and shaped my worldview and priorities to the things of His heart. And growing up, I was also exposed to lots of stories of missionaries, and I saw that the beauty of following Jesus wholeheartedly became very appealing to me. And saying yes to Jesus, I saw it as being the best thing that one could do, and I desired to live a life of faith, wholly yielded to Him. And as I desired to follow God's will, He led me to pursue an education in early childhood education. But in the midst of that, I attended my first mission trip to Indonesia, and that's where God stirred my heart for the least, the last, and the lost. That was just the start. And over the next few years, I started having repeated dreams and visions of children in the slums and streets, and child soldiers, and children being trafficked. And it didn't make sense to me at that time, but it just deepened my conviction and desire to serve God. Then in 2015, I attended a missions conference, and that was where I felt God's clear call to missions, where He broke my heart for the nations and He convicted me to give my life fully to His call to reach the lost. God then opened the door to serve street children in a local missions ministry, and this was while I was still in university. But at that time, I really felt that upon graduation, I would serve Him immediately, full time. So it was very surprising when God said to go to the marketplace first. It was something that I wrestled with, but eventually laid down and surrendered to God's nudging to go to work. And He opened the door to a kindergarten, like what Darius mentioned, and I enjoyed the time there. But in the midst of my year there, somehow it became challenging when God said it was time to go and step into missions. I think it did get quite comfortable, and in that stable and loving work environment, the reality of stepping out into the unknown was quite daunting. But God did clearly speak to me through His word, and He sent different people to confirm His time and His call. And He reminded me of the lyrics of this song. Actually, the previous slide. Yeah, the lyrics of this song that really spoke to me as a child. Two hands, one heart, one life to offer you, two hands, one heart, that's what I give to you. And this was one of my favorite songs as a child. As I grew up in a missions primary school, and it's something that we sang very often in chapel. And he also reminded me of the prayers that I prayed as a child, almost every night when I was 9 years old, which was, Jesus, make me more like you. And Jesus, here I am, use me. And I couldn't deny then that God was calling me out. So I said yes to stepping out into missions, and I joined YWAM. And yeah, can do next slide. So it's been about 6 years in missions, and I've seen Jesus moving in the nations and experience his presence powerfully like never before. Just seeing himself reveal himself to me, to the people, seeing him heal the sick and providing in miraculous ways, seeing the lost encounter his love, and just seeing how ripe the harvest is in the most nomadic, in the most remote nomadic areas, and in the slums, in the villages, and the cities. So I really just want to speak to the children here in this hall that I believe that God sees the desires of your heart. And the one who knitted you in your mother's womb is the same one who formed your heart and placed those desires in your heart. And he is the one who will bring it to pass. And if your desire is, Jesus, I love you, I want to live for you, use me for your kingdom, I believe that that brings great delight to God's heart, and that he will honor that. And he will remember the prayers that you have prayed to him, even as a child, as he did for me. And as you give your life to Jesus, he will be faithful to unfold the story that he has ordained since the beginning. And life with Jesus is very exciting. He will lead you to people and places beyond your dreams and imaginations, just so that you can know him more and experience his love for you and for his people. So I just want to end with saying this, that your yes to Jesus is the best thing you can do because he is worth it.